I can only name a handful of horror games that have genuinely terrified me over the years. Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem, PT. But you know what was way scarier? Pixels. None of this polygon bullcrap back when imagination was used to fill the void, and it was gruesome. Some of these things still terrify me to this day, and not one of them is from a horror game. These are the top 10 scariest retro enemies from non-horror games. I played a lot of Gauntlet too. Never beat it, because at some point you want to do anything else with your life, but there's always one enemy that was scarier than death. And that's death. This enemy hunts you down faster and more aggressively than any other monster in Gauntlet, all with that creepy extended finger indicating you. Plus, if he touches you, it makes one of the worst sounds I've ever heard in a video game. Killing death isn't easy either. Throwing range attacks barely does anything, and without a potion and a worthwhile magic user, you either exit or you die. In fact, some say the only real exit is death. You have to accept it. All 4 of them. Especially when you're stuck between death and a dragon place. Look, I'm sure you're all used to the jump scare stuff of today, but Death in Gauntlet 2 provides a certain kind of scare that's far more sophisticated and psychological. Ah! Jesus, no! Bubble Bobble is one of the cutest games ever made. You play as a cute little dragon, all the enemies are adorable, you spit bubbles, and when the enemies pop, they become delicious food. Seriously, everything about this game is adorable and cutesy. How can it be spooky? Easy, run out of time. Few things boost the anxiety like making the music go way faster. Also, having every single enemy go apeshit makes things worse. So now you're panicking trying to get all these dudes popped because the game's pressuring you. But that's not the scary part. The scary part is if you still take too long, suddenly you'll see this guy, Baron von Blubba. Now you've got an unkillable ghost whale chasing you down while the game is telling you to hurry and while enemies are going super fast for even more pressure. And if you still take too long, he starts moving twice as fast, matching everything else that's going on. He got these weird floaty controls and his glowing red eye is staring you down and there's nothing you can do to stop him! I've found that the things that scared me more in the past isn't so much actually scary monsters, but rather knowing the oncoming awful consequences. Zelda 1 didn't really have any terrifying monsters per se, but there is one that shoots the nerves like a bullet through tissue paper, so much that it continues to haunt Zelda players to this day. The Wall Masters live only in dungeons. At first, you walk into a room and think you're safe, and then out they come. It's that gross, grabby hand motion that makes them the worst. It's easy to imagine one of these guys getting onto your body and going so then you're paralyzed with fear with that thought cage in your mind as this gross hand comes for you and then back to the start of the dungeon with you. Inconvenience is truly the one universal fear, especially if it grabs you twice. Zombies Ate My Neighbors is filled with scary monsters. I mean, the whole game is making numerous horror movies come to life. You got the typical zombies and mummies, but forget about them. The chainsaw-wielding maniacs chase you down, and if you knock them over, they'll get right back up again. We'll cut through walls when you think you're safe. Forget about them. The axe-wielding baby is vicious, slicing you up, and once you think you've defeated him, he bursts into flames and continues to attack in a horrific fiery onslaught. But forget about him. The scariest enemy in Zombies Ate My Neighbors is a baby. He doesn't have an axe or anything, no. He's 10 feet tall and moves like he was breastfed by a fun dipstick. It's his fast, twitchy movements that make him so creepy. And the fact that he's a baby. The worst part is to finish this stage, you have to kill him. Don't worry, your fear will end right as he stomps you to death. Ever play Ski Free? This game was pretty much on every Windows machine in the early 90s. It was so relaxing. You ski downhill in one of 3 different courses and it's just super pleasant. You're feeling the fresh, cool air in your face, hitting other people, and doing sick jumps into dope flips for mad points. This was the ultimate wind down game for Windows users long before— ah, what the shit, no! I'm not much of a Sonic fan these days, but I certainly enjoyed his original games on the Genesis, Sonic 2 in particular. This entry isn't so much a single enemy, but it's probably the most terrifying thing any Sonic player has ever had to deal with. Imagine it. You're Sonic, you're sprinting forward, going fast, Tails is worthless, having a good time. And then, bloop, there it is. The water. The scary part isn't getting wet or the sudden floaty controls. It's that countdown, along with the absolute most stressful, terror-filled, panic-inducing music. No. Here's a life hack from me. Change your wake-up alarm to this music. You'll never be late for work ever again. Swords and Serpents. It was a dungeon-crawling RPG for the NES. It wasn't half bad. I played this when I was like 7, 8 years old or so at a neighbor's house. I was obsessed with it. It has really impressive sprite work for the enemies you meet. They're large and animated. I wasn't too spooked by most of these guys. Zombies, goblins, warriors, hard ones, not too disturbed here. If anything, I was more scared by the skull that shows that your character is dead. Haha, Ian. But there is one enemy that scared the jeebus out of me the first time I saw it, and it stuck with me to this day. She starts showing up on the 3rd level of the dungeon. It's a ghost, but a lady ghost, with a rather pretty face floating there quite calmly, until— that's the face that got me so hard. I was lulled into a false sense of security, and then— alright, well, if that doesn't scare you, maybe this will. If you want to continue your game, it takes 5 separate passwords. Woo! What's with Mario games having some of the scariest surprise enemies of all time? Friggin' Phanto from Mario 2, and Mario 64 had— yeah, that's the one. Mario 3 had a couple too. I was pretty scared of Big Bertha. She's one of the few enemies that can kill you in one hit. And by hit, I mean— and this is the game that introduced ghost houses, boos, dry bones, thwomps, and none of them are anything to one enemy that only appears twice in the middle of the desert after having nothing like it. Out of nowhere, the goddamn sun comes to kill you, and he's pissed. I seriously thought this was just set dressing to show that you're in a hot desert the first time I played this, but nope, nature comes to kill you. The angry face and that constant swooping can make anyone lose their cool. Ah, that was a pun. I always wondered, can you kill the sun with a turtle shell? Oh my god! Guys, I did it! I stopped global warming! Earthbound is a pretty lighthearted game. Weird, but generally lighthearted. You battle pretty mundane things for the whole game. Bugs, plants, crazy ladies, you know, the usual. It's the final battle where it suddenly gets real. Gygus is a creature that cannot be easily described. In fact, it's so formless that even the game tells you that you cannot grasp the form of his attack. That twisted face? Constantly scrolling in the background with weird, spooky noises and jarring static transitions. It's a complete mood swing from the rest of the game, and that's what makes it so unsettling. It's one of the few times that the end boss in a video game is actually intimidating. Not because of his attack prowess or difficulty or whatever, but simply because his presence unnerves you. I'd like to go back to when I was eating hamburgers and beating up snakes, please. Haha, Mr. Saturn, you're so silly looking. Arcade games were simple in 1983. It was a lot of peaceful flying through space and shooting things, like some rocks or other spaceships. I put a quarter into this and was having a good time, minding my own business, when suddenly I hear— beware, I live. I'm sorry, what? This is Sinistar. I am Sinistar. Yeah, I covered that. This son of a bitch hunts you down the moment he is built, and your goal is to destroy him, which is easier said than done. The entire time that you're collecting up Cinnabombs to even stand a chance, he'll just taunt you! Run, coward. Wah! You got it! You can damage him down to being just a face, and he'll still be all like— I never beat him, never destroyed him once. And to this day, Sinistar continues to haunt my dreams. Oh, I forgot the Vengeance Ghost from Daggerfall. Dang it. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of other ones that I missed, and if there's anything that you can think of, please let me know in the comments down below. And if nothing else, we can celebrate the fact that I might be the only YouTuber who didn't put a crappy jump scare in his Halloween video. Are you sitting there waiting for a jump scare to happen? Hey, hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please subscribe for more, give it a like, and leave a comment down below.